Hello, I'm Greg Jones, Senior Pastor of Westminster Presbyterian Church in Wilmington, Delaware. Since 2009, I've led 3 spiritual pilgrimages to Israel, Palestine, and traveled there a 4th time. Thank you for the opportunity to speak in favor of the collective punishment overture. Collective punishment is targeted retaliation against a suspected perpetrator's family or friends or acquaintances or an entire ethnic group. This overture specifically addresses the unlawful acts of both Israelis and Palestinians. On the one hand, the punishment of innocent civilians in Gaza by the Israeli military's bombing of homes, hospitals, schools, and infrastructures, and on the other hand, the punishment of innocent Israeli civilians by Palestinian militants randomly firing rockets into Israel. In view of these human rights abuses, defined as collective punishment under international law, this overture calls for the United States government to exhort the government of Israel to, first, stop all military attacks on non-military targets in Gaza that disproportionately kill Palestinian civilians and have caused billions of dollars of property damage since 2008. And second, end the siege of Gaza that restricts its citizens access to adequate water, electricity, food, medicine, and fuel. The siege has caused a terrible humanitarian and environmental crisis. In addition, the overture calls on our government to exhort the Hamas government of Gaza and all Palestinian militants to cease all hostile actions against Israel and its citizens, defined as collective punishment under international law, including the launching of unguided rockets into civilian areas of Israel. This overture denounces the inhumane practice of collective punishment by both sides and encourages each to refrain from practices that escalate hostilities and further the loss of life. Why should you support this overture? First, because Jesus and the prophets call on us to seek justice for all people and to liberate the oppressed. Second, because our tax dollars are going to Israel and they are supporting both the siege of Gaza and the occupation of the West Bank. And third, if the siege of Gaza and the occupation of the West Bank continue, we will likely reach the day when there will no longer be any Christians in the land of Jesus. This overture is not directed at Jews. There are many Jewish organizations that support these actions. Neither is it an attempt to undermine the state of Israel. Rather, this overture is in opposition to the policies of the current Israeli government, as well as Hamas and militants in Gaza. It is the hope, it is our hope, that the Presbyterian Church USA will approve this overture and be a leader in the cause of justice and peace in Israel, Palestine. Thank you.